Hello students. So this video session we are going to start with the fourth module, which is trees. So we have completed in the last video session, we have completed up to the linked list, complete module of linked list we have completed. So today let us start with trees. What is a tree? So I think all of you would have learnt in your BCA or graduation data structures, you have definitely learned, and you also would have definitely come across trees, because there is no data structure without trees. So what is a tree? How can we define a tree? A tree is, we can say, a tree is a finite set of one or more nodes. So we can put it that way. That shows always a kind of parent-child relationship, or we can call it as it shows always in the form of a hierarchy. So how can you define trees? Trees are nothing but a finite set of one or more nodes, which is going to be represented in the form of a parent-child relationship. There is always one special node which we call it as, there is always a special node which we call it as the root node. The remaining tree nodes are partitioned into subsets which are called as subtrees. Alright. So let us quickly take an example. So suppose let us say any tree. So this is how a tree looks like. Let's say you have C, you have D, something like this. This is what you call it as a tree. So how I said it is going to be a finite set. Obviously the nodes are countable. So it is a finite set. Finite set of one or more nodes, which is going to represent a parent-child relationship always. So this is obviously a parent-child relationship. And there is always a special node which is called as a root node. This is the A is the root node, and the other nodes form the subtree of E. So node A is the root of the tree, and then the nodes B, C, D, they are all children of node E. Okay. Now, that means to say there are three subtrees. This is one subtree, this is one subtree, this is another subtree. Now we will, before going into the details of these, we will first look at what are the different important terminologies associated with trees. Okay. Let me take a tree example. So all the terminologies I will define with respect to this. This is an example that I have taken. So I will be defining all the terminologies based on this example. The first terminology that we are going to define is what is a root node. The first node which is written on the top is always the root node. So root node does not have any parent. So as I said, always trees are represented in the form of a parent-child relationship. So root node is always the node which is written on the top. So if you see this 100 is the root node. So this forms the root node. Alright. So 100 is the root node. Root node will not have any parents. So as if you observe that there are no parents for this particular node. The next is the terminology that we are going to see is what do we mean by a child node. So the node which is obtained from the parent node is called as the child node. Node obtained from the parent node is called as the child node. A parent can have 0 or more child node. It may a particular parent may not have any child at all, or it can have more child nodes in this one. So if you look at this example, if you want to say 70, for example, the node 70 is a child node of the node 50. Correct. So in the node 50 and 60, if you observe these two nodes, 50 and 60 are child nodes of 100. 70 is child node of 50. 80 is child node of 60. 80 and 40. Both are child node of 60. 35 and 30, both are child node of 80. So child node is one which is obtained from the parent. The next terminology is, what do we mean by siblings? So generally siblings means, in the English meaning of word sibling is what? Brothers and sisters or whoever are born along with us. So they are called as siblings, correct? So same meaning will hold here also. Two or more nodes having the same parent, they are called as siblings. Two or more nodes having the same parent are called as siblings. For example, if you observe 50 and 60 here, both the nodes 50 and 60, they have the common parent 100. So 50 and 60 are called as siblings. Similarly, 80 and 40. 80 and 40 are child nodes of 60. That means 60 is a common parent for 80 and 40. So 80 and 40 are called as siblings. Again, 35 and 30, they are derived from 80. 80 is a parent node which has two child nodes 35 and 30. So 35 and 30 have the same parent node 80. That is why you call them as siblings. 35 and 30 are siblings. That is what is the meaning of siblings. Next, what is an ancestor? So in English we say ancestors means our grandfather, great grandfather. They are all our ancestors, is it not? So similarly here also the same meaning holds. The nodes obtained in the path from a specific node X by moving towards the root node are called as ancestors. Now for example, the nodes which are obtained in the path, if I start from this node X, this 35, what are all the nodes I will get in the path till I reach 100? They are all ancestors of 35. For example, 100 is an here. If you look at here, 100 is an ancestor for 50 and 60 both. Because if you start from 50, what are the nodes that you get before you reach the root? It is only 100. Suppose I start from 35. So in this case 35, what will happen? I get 80, I get 60, I get 100. All these are nothing but ancestors of 35. Similarly, if I start from 30, 80, I have 60, I have, then I get 100. So 80, 60, 100, all are ancestors of 30. So that is how all the 60 becomes an ancestor for the nodes 80, it becomes ancestor for 40, it becomes ancestor for 30, it becomes an ancestor for 35 also. So that means when you start from here, as I move towards the root node, what all nodes I get in the path, they are all ancestors of that particular node. So that is how you define ancestor. Next we will see what is a descendant. Descendant means who are our descendants, children, grandchildren, they are all descendants, is it not? You go down. So that is your descendants. So nodes in the path below the parent are called as descendants. In other words, the nodes that are all reachable from a node X by moving downwards are called as descendants of X. Who are the descendants of 100? Descendants of 100 are all these nodes are descendants of 100. Suppose he is a great grandfather, then everybody under him are all descendants of 100. So 50 and 60, 70, 80, 40, 35, 30 all are descendants of 100. Okay. Who are the descendants of 60, 80, 40, 35, 30? They are all descendants of 60. So when we say descendants in English, we say the parent is there. Parents, children. Children are nothing but descendants of parent. Children's children become grandchildren. Again, they are also descendants. Correct? So that is how the same concept holds here. 60 is there. 80 and 40 are descendants of 60. 35 and 30 are also descendants of 60. So that is the meaning of descendants. Next, we will see what is meant by left descendant. Okay, left descendant means, as the meaning indicates, the nodes that lie towards the left subtree of node X are called as left descendant. Who are the left descendants of 100, 50 and 70? Left. Right descendants of 100, 60. Because this entire this whole thing becomes right descendant of 100. Then, left descendant of Okay, we are only talking of left descendants. Let me also stick only to left. So left descendants of 60 are 80, 35, 30. Left descendant of 80 is 35. Left descendant of 50 is 70. So whatever subtree comes on the left side of that particular node X, you call them as left descendants. Next, let us see who are the, what do you expect next one? Right descendants. So right descendant, whatever is the subtree on the nodes that lie towards the right subtree of node X is called as right descendant. For example, I said if you want to say right descendants of 100, 60, 80, 40, 35, 30, all are right descendants of 100. This whole thing becomes right descendant of 100. Right descendant of 60 is 40. Right descendant of 80 is 30. Like that. This we can also tell it as left subtree and right subtree. Left subtree and right subtree. What is left subtree of 100, 50 and 70? This is your left subtree of 100. This becomes the right subtree of 100. Similarly, this becomes left subtree of 50. This becomes left subtree of 80, 35, 30 becomes left subtree of 60. 40 becomes right subtree of 60. 60 and 40 will become right subtree of 100. Like that. Then we saw what is child node. We also know what is a parent node. There are any node which is having right subtree, left subtree or both is said to be the parent node for that particular tree. So if you look at 60, 60 has 80 and 40. It has left subtree as well as right subtree. That's why 60 will be called as a parent node. Left subtree or right subtree or both. Okay, 70, 50 has only left subtree. So 50 is also a parent. Whereas 35 is not a parent because it doesn't have any left subtree or right subtree. No child nodes are there. So 35 is not called as a parent. Next we will see what is the degree of a tree. What is the degree of a tree? The number of subtrees of a node is called its degree. Degree is with respect to the not the tree, it is with respect to node. Degree of a node, the number of subtrees of a node is called its degree. For example, what is 80? 80 has how many subtrees? 2 subtrees. So the degree of 80 will be 2. 40 has no subtrees at all. So degree of 40 is 0. 60 has 2 subtrees, left and right. So degree of 60 is 2. Like that. Node 100 has 2 subtrees, correct? This is one subtree, this is another subtree, right and left, both. So root of degree of 100 is 2. Like that we can do. Next important terminology is what is a leaf node. So a node in a tree which has no child node, as I said, or node in a tree which has degree as 0, they are called as leaf nodes. For example, 35. What is the degree of 35? No left, no right. No left subtree, no right subtree. So degree of 35 is 0. So in fact, 35 is a leaf node. Similarly, 30 is a leaf node. 40 is a leaf node. 70 is a leaf node. They are called as leaf nodes. Then we have what is called internal nodes. What are internal nodes? All the nodes except the leaf nodes are called as internal nodes. Okay. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 40, they are all called as internal nodes. Except the leaf nodes. Okay, 70, 40 will not be called because they are all again leaf nodes. Are all internal except all the leaf nodes except leaving out 70, 35, 30 and 40, 50, 60 and 80 are internal nodes. Leaf node is also called as external node. Other nodes which are except leaf node you call them as internal nodes. Leaf nodes are also called as external nodes. What is one more important terminology? What is meant by level of a tree or a level of a node. Distance of a node from the root is called as the level of the node. Distance of the node from the root is called as level of the node. Distance from the root node to itself is 0. Correct? What is the distance of root node to itself? It is 0. So, root node is always at the level 0. Okay? The node 50 and 60, they are at level 1 from the root node. So, distance of 1 from the root node. So, this level is 1. Similarly, 70, 80, 40, they are at a distance of 2 from 100 from the root node. So, always taken from the root node. So, this level will be equal to 2. Nodes 35 and 30 are at level 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Correct? So, this will be at level 3. That is called as level. Distance of a node from the root is called level of the node. Distance from the root node to itself is 0. So, level of root node is always 0. From there, we try to calculate. Level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. Right? I hope it's clear to you all. Okay. Height of a tree, or we have what is called as depth of a tree. Depth of a tree, okay, level of a node, depth of a tree, you should be careful. Depth of a tree is defined as a maximum level of any leaf in the tree, you call it as the depth, or you can also call it as height of the tree. Height of the tree. Alright, I hope this is clear to you all. So, we have seen what is a tree. We have seen what is a tree, and we have seen some important terminologies with respect to tree. What is a root node, child node, siblings, ancestors, descendants, left descendant, right descendant, left subtree, right subtree. Then we saw what do we mean by parent node, what do we mean by level of a node, what do we mean by degree of a node, what is a leaf node or the external node, what are internal nodes, what is the depth of the tree. This is a very important question. Define tree and define the important terminologies with respect to tree. They may simply ask define the terminologies, or they may specify some terminologies and ask you to define. Anything is possible. Alright. So you should be able to take an example. The best way to write this is take a good example of a tree, define all these, and then go on relating it to that. That is the best way to put it across. Alright. So next we will be seeing what are the different types of trees. Okay. Okay. Now let us look at what are the different types of trees. This is again a very important concept. First you have to understand definitely what are the different types of trees before we get into the further details. Okay. These are 5 important types of trees. Binary tree. What is meant by strictly binary tree, complete binary tree, almost complete binary tree, and skewed binary tree. These are the 5 important binary trees which vary in their own way. That means each of these trees have their own characteristics. Now how each one is different from the other is what we are going to see. First one, let us take up what do we mean by a binary tree. I think all of you would have learned what is a binary tree, right? The binary tree is a tree which has a set of nodes, either empty or consists of root and two subtrees, that is left subtree and right subtree. Okay, that means a tree in which every node has either 0 or 1 or 2 subtrees. You call it as a binary tree. Every level or any level can have at most 2 nodes. That's all. Every level should have only maximum 2 nodes. So the binary tree is a tree which has either it is empty or it consists of root and 2 subtrees. Root and 2. That means every node has either 0 or 1 or 2 subtrees. Okay, that is what is the meaning of a binary tree. Is this a binary tree? We have shown a binary tree here. Is this a binary tree? It is very much a binary tree. If you look at that, this is a root node. It has left subtree, right subtree. That's all. It has. This is a node. It has left subtree, right subtree. Left, left. It need not have right. It can have either 0, 1 or 2. Okay. It can be empty also. That means if you look at node D, it has nothing at all. That's fine. If you look at node E, it has only left subtree. It has no right subtree. Whereas F has both H and I. That is both left and right. So that is an example of a binary tree. Just a simple general binary tree. Root and it should have 2 subtrees. Every node should have either 0. It doesn't have any child node, that is fine. Or it should have only 1 or 2 subtrees. That's all. Such a tree you call it as binary tree. Let us take few more examples of binary tree. These are a couple of other examples, few more examples on binary tree. What do you think each of these should be now? Is it a binary tree or not a binary tree? Look at this. Is it a binary tree? What is happening? A is a node, root node. What did I tell? Every node should have 0, 1 or 2 subtrees. Then you call it as a binary tree. What is happening here? 1 subtree, second subtree, third subtree. There are 3 subtrees for root node A. It is a tree, definitely, but it is not a binary tree. Again, so this is not a binary tree. Why? Because A has 3 subtrees. It can have 0 subtree or 1 subtree or 2 subtrees. That's all. It cannot have 3. So this is not a binary subtree. Look at this second example. Look at this example. A is a root node. It has 2 subtrees, B and C. That is fine. B is a node. It has only left subtree, 1 subtree. That's also fine. C, it has 2 subtrees, 0 or 1 or 2. That is fine. So this is a binary subtree. This is a very good example of a binary subtree. Look at this. Look at the third example. What's happening here? You have some looping here, correct? That is again wrong. Does not qualify for a binary tree. It cannot have any loop. It cannot, have its own parent as its, you are trying to put a recursive kind of a loop, then that is wrong. So these are examples of binary tree. So every node should have either 0 subtree, 1 subtree or 2 subtree maximum. This doesn't qualify for a binary tree because it has 3 subtrees. It is wrong. Okay. So again, this doesn't qualify because there is a looping. So it is wrong. Next, we will see the next example, next type of tree. Let us see. Next, let us see what is a strictly binary tree. So we have seen what is a binary tree. So every node can have either 0 or 1 or 2 nodes. That is binary tree. What is strictly binary? Strictly binary tree is what? In which every node has either 0 or 2 children is called as a strictly binary tree. What we said in binary tree, either 0 or 1 or 2. Correct? That 1 is not allowed here. So either it doesn't have children at all or it should have 2 children. It is like that. Either no child nodes or 2 child nodes. That is called as strictly, as the name indicates, it is strictly binary tree. Alright. So now I have written here 2 examples of binary tree. Which one do you think is a strictly binary tree and which is not a strictly binary tree? Can you take a minute and decide? Now, if you look at this tree, the first one, A is a node, it has 2 nodes, B and C. B is a node, it has 2 nodes, D and E. C has no nodes at all. What did I say? 0 or 2. Correct? So 0 or 2. A has 2 nodes, B has 2 nodes, C has 0 nodes. That is also fine. E has 2 nodes, F and G has 0 nodes, D has 0 nodes. So this is a strictly binary tree. It is a very good example of a strictly binary tree. Now, let us come to the second example. Let us look at this example. Is it a strictly binary tree? A has 2 nodes, B and C, fine, no problem. B has 2 nodes, D and E. D has no nodes, that is also fine. E has 2 nodes, that is also fine. F and G has no nodes, fine. C has only 1 node, correct? This does not qualify for a strictly binary tree because as I told you, every node should have either 0 nodes or it should have 2 nodes. It is definitely a binary tree. It is definitely a binary tree, but it is not a strictly binary tree. I hope I am clear with this. So we have seen 2 different types of trees. What is the difference between binary tree and strictly binary tree? Okay, next session I will take up the different other types. What we are left with is complete binary tree, almost complete binary tree and skewed binary tree. These we will see in the next session. So I will see you all in the next session. Thank you.